Hi everyone, my name is Ali and today we'll be talking about how we can use LinkedIn to get basically an unlimited flow of leads to our business. And every single business out there needs leads. Without leads, you can just stop existing as a business. And LinkedIn is an amazing platform where you can constantly get leads and constantly expand your growth. Today we'll be talking about a few different things. We'll be talking about understanding LinkedIn leads, leveraging LinkedIn posts and comments to get leads, and then we will talk about advanced lead strategies like LinkedIn Sales Navigator and stealing leads as well in an ethical way. I've been doing this for about 2 years now. I post on LinkedIn daily, and we also have an official integration with LinkedIn through Metal Social. I would call myself an expert on LinkedIn because I use it on a daily basis. I know all the ins and outs of LinkedIn, and I'll be sharing with you this knowledge. So let's jump in and talk about the different type of leads on LinkedIn. We have warm leads and cold leads, and the key difference between them are people that you know that are in your contact list. We consider them as warm leads. So those are people you can message directly, and there's no type of limit on how much you can message them. While with people you do not know, which are more like cold, there are some limits. So if you're not using the LinkedIn Premium, then you might not be able to contact more than 5 in a given day. Even if you are using the Premium, there are some limits there where you cannot contact more than about 100 plus within a week. So depending on how many contacts you have, you might already have some warm leads. Most likely you do. And the reason warm leads convert better is because they're people that are easier to speak to. Maybe they already know you and they're more willing to give you a service. So now, just to optimize LinkedIn to start with, I want to speak about your landing page. And your landing page should be where you find leads. As you can see here, if I click here, new post, then I am getting companies and I'm getting promoted posts as well to people I do not follow. So those are underneath the suggested. What you really want to do with your LinkedIn feed is you want to unfollow the things that are not interesting. And after doing this for a couple of days, you will start getting quite of a curated list that fits within your target audience. So if you're, for example, a camera company and you are getting a lot of YouTubers or personal branding experts speaking about their experiences, then I would maybe not use my energy on this type of context. I would be more interested in things that are coming out of maybe Sony. I would be more interested in things that are coming out of other competitors. I would be interested in partnerships, right? So I would follow those type of people. And having a LinkedIn page that is optimized by just simply clicking and unfollowing the things that are not interesting for you gives you a way easier job. And this takes me to the first thing I will be showing you today, which is leveraging LinkedIn posts and comments. So we'll be talking about comments. To be specific, how can you leverage comments to get more leads? If you click on your profile here, you can see that you have profile views and you have post impressions. When you are getting somebody to view your profile, that is basically a lead. You can see in your list, that is someone that has engaged with you, right? They've checked your profile. They are more likely to become a potential person you can speak to than a person that you completely don't know. So if you comment on LinkedIn, which is basically only 1% of the people do commenting on LinkedIn, and you have this optimized feed, I've spoken to you, only the things you're interested in show up, then you're increasing your profile views. And increasing your profile views is bringing you more leads, right? So you can do about 50 or 100. It's really up to you. I would recommend, if you are really a salesperson and you're really busy getting leads, that's your main goal, I would maybe be commenting about 50 times. I've done that before and it has basically exploded my profile views. And just remember, you need to have an optimized profile image, you look professional, and you also want to optimize whatever title you have and your banner, because that is what people see on their phone when they click on your name. So commenting, do a lot of it. Only 1% of the people on LinkedIn do commenting. And you need to understand that for creators, that is the biggest gift you can give them. It is not giving them a but, it is giving them a comment. That is really engaging. Social networking and leads, it's all about connection, right? So when you're commenting to someone, you're showing way more character. So I always recommend that. So now we've spoken about you going to them, which is outbound. So commenting, and then they will come to you by visiting your profile. And then the next approach will be you creating content on LinkedIn and creating content that your target audience would be interested in. That would be creating content, for example, about cameras, because you run a camera company and you know that the main pain points of your target audience, which are maybe B2B companies, are X and Y and Z. And you can use AI to get those pain points. And I recommend you checking out our AI that can help you really quickly find those things like the target audience audience, what are their pain points, content pillars, and so on. You can just basically go on meadowsocial.com or go on our LinkedIn and just click chat with Ada. And this is completely for free. And it will be very helpful and quick and dirty way to find what are the pain points of your target audience. So creating content and engaging content, it could be a little bit difficult at the start because maybe you don't know the techniques of hooking people, for example. That AI that we have created, which is also on our platform, trained on the best templates in the industry. It is trained based on content templates from the best LinkedIn creators out there. So you're basically using psychology and techniques to hook your audience already from day one. So you're saving yourself a lot of time. If you want to create really nice LinkedIn posts, I highly recommend checking out the free GPT tool that we have available. So creating content, how does it work? You make a post and then people see the post. Most of the time, they are not reacting. If they're reacting, it means they like it. If they like it, if they comment to it, they're engaged leads. So you can take them to the next step. And what would be the next step? On LinkedIn, the easiest thing you could do is send a connection request. Hey, I saw you liked my post. How are you doing? What are you currently working on? This is a great way you can use to start a connection with someone. And then maybe you can ask them to introduce you to someone else that you have as your target audience. So that was simply the two techniques you can use in order to get more impressions and views to your profile, and those convert to leads. And now let's talk about a little bit more of advanced techniques. Let's say you have a company and you want to sell to CMOs, to your target audience of Norway. So you basically want to find every single CMO in Norway and you want to target them. This is difficult to do in the traditional systems. You have to pay thousands of dollars to get those lists, and then it just has the names and you cannot really contact them. With LinkedIn, this is possible. It's super easy. I'll show you two ways to do this. The first one would be using the search button. So just clicking or searching CMO, and then here underneath advanced filters, you could just list out all of the filters. And then we said that I'm interested only in Norway, and then you can choose some other filters, what service category they are covering. I will not do that in this case. I'll just click show results. And then it says it has found more than 2,000 hits for CMOs in Norway. And those are people I can target. Using this type of search possibility would be maybe slightly limiting because you cannot put those people into a list. Just to be aware, there are a lot of tools that automate this, like for example, Octopus CRM and others. I would highly recommend not using those tools because you'll be breaking the rules of LinkedIn when you're using automation on your profile. At least my recommendation, if you're going to do something like that, don't use your main profile because it will get banned. I've seen many people getting banned because of using such extensions and automations. Also, this is interesting with AI now. You have things like Operator that I don't think LinkedIn thought about this when they were creating those rules, which is going to be like the new standards. The most important thing, if you're using external tools, external extensions that are taking control over your account, most of those tools, they do it in a shady way where they're stealing your session and running things on a virtual machine somewhere else. I would highly recommend against using those tools. And instead, what you could do, you could just use the official tool from LinkedIn. And this is probably why LinkedIn wants you to do this. And that is called Sales Navigator. That is a paid tool. You can get probably 2 months for free if you sign up. And I will show you all of the tricks you need in order to use Sales Navigator. But before that, I want to speak about stealing connections or stealing leads. So there's this company, for example, Y Combinator, and you know that this company is serving the same customer group that you are. Then let's just look at this post. It has 93 likes, it has 17 comments and 6 reposts. Those are engaged leads. So you could contact those people and tell them about your product if you're serving the same thing. And that is what we call stealing leads. And most likely there are people that are interested within this niche. And what you could do on the search of LinkedIn, there's a filter that says connection of. So if you know a person, so let's say here, all filters, and says connection of or follower of, but this works only for creators. This is for, let's say, my colleague here. So I want to get all of the CMOs that are a connection of my colleague, and then show result. And then I have 7 people that are a connection of my colleague, and I can target those. If you have Sales Navigator, has even further filters that you can use. I will show you those filters and explain how this works. So you have first accounts and leads. So accounts are, you can basically be searching in every single company that is in LinkedIn registry, and leads, you can search for every single person that is on. If you're starting a new product and you just want to understand how big is the target audience for this thing I'm doing, you can go on LinkedIn, you can go into Sales Navigator, and you can find every single lead that is within your target audience. And how can you find your target audience? It depends on what service you're solving. You can simply just ask AI, as I mentioned in the start, and get that target audience list. It's really important. When you're creating content randomly, then if you want to increase your chances to convert to the next step, you want to have that content target the people that you want to be your customers. So having a strategic targeted approach to lead gathering and creating the content around that is super important. Now, the tabs of Sales Navigator, you have home, accounts, and leads, and you have messaging where you can send messages. So that will be different than if you have a contact, you can message them. This is, even if they're not your contact, you have a certain limit within a week where you can send, let's say, 50 messages to contacts that are not on your list. And what's really nice with LinkedIn Sales Navigator is you can create these lists. So let's say I wanted to create a list of all CMOs in Norway, because those would be maybe interested in the product I'm selling, or all founders. Just to give you an example, I'm creating an event right now and I want to market this event to all CMOs in Norway. So how do I do that? First, I create the list. I go on the leads, I create a new list, and I called it CMOs. Then from here, I will just click search for leads. And then I will start filling up my criteria. So for geography, I want to just get the ones that are in Norway. So just filter based on that. And then for the industry, if you have a target audience, then you probably know what your industry is. So I would be interested in an industry that is called marketing services there. And here you see we already have 5,000 results in Norway. And this is great. And this is actually more than what the small or the basic LinkedIn search is giving you. It is way more powerful to use this tool compared to the basic one. And then you want to just get the active ones. So this is a filter also that does not exist. You want to get the ones that are active on LinkedIn if you want to contact them. This is how you do that. You just click post it on LinkedIn. And now you have 581 strong leads that you can put into your list. And then further, if you want, you could do some lead stealing. So if you know that there's a certain company that delivers the same product as you, and you want to get the leads that are interested in this company, you can actually do that. So you can say, connection off, and then you just add that person that works in that company, and then you're stealing those leads as well. You're making it super targeted. And that was basically LinkedIn Sales Navigator. What do you do after you save this list? How do you contact those people? There's, of course, multiple ways on how to approach. What I do personally is I first create my list, and then every single day I go through it and I try to make meaningful connections. Social media is all about connections. So you want to build a relationship, and you can invite them for coffee, you can invite them for digital coffee, you could engage with their post. All this type of stuff is you building a relationship. But I hope you have learned how you can use different techniques on LinkedIn, like LinkedIn posts and LinkedIn comments, to generate more traffic for you inbound. And then you've learned how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to create a list of every single person that might be interesting for you to target. And then if you use a little bit of a smarter techniques, like for example, stealing connections, adding someone that works at a certain company and getting all of their follower list, and then you know that these are engaged with this type of product and contacting them through there. So this is basically LinkedIn basic 101 leads machine. LinkedIn is an amazing platform. I would highly recommend you build a brand on LinkedIn in 2025. And if you want help with that, just log into melosocial.com, sign up to the newsletter, or test out the product, or reach out to me directly. That was today's session. Thank you. My name is Ali, and see you next week.